Okay, so bottom tension should be done first before you move to your top tension. If you've missed that, please rewind your video back to where we've done our bobbin tension. And make sure that you watch that and get that bobbin tension correct. And then you're able to move on to your top tension. All right, so now we're going to talk about tension. Okay, in this example, on this piece here, you're going to see that the top tension is too tight. And it's pulling the bobbin thread up through, and you can see the little polka dots all the way through it. Now, we've done blue on one side and pink on the other. No, you wouldn't want to really do this. You want to use the same color of thread or close to the same color of thread on each side. But just to give you an example of what to look for, we've, done the extremes. We've made the bottom pink and the top blue. So I'm going to show you the back, and the back looks pretty good. You don't see very many polka dots at all of the blue coming down through. It looks really nice and clean. So we know that it's our top tension pulling our bottom tension up through. So I'm going to replicate that right now, and I'm going to crank. I'm going to turn it to the right, and you can see that as I turn it, you start to see more and more of this shaft. All right. You can see now I have made the bottom thread come up through to the top after tightening. So now we're going to fix our tension. So because we turned it towards the right, we want to turn it to loosen the tension, make it relax, towards the left. So you need to remember that when you're adjusting your tension, at first you need to turn it full turns. It's not as sensitive as your bobbin tension is. So you don't need to do it in small increments yet. And then once you get it to almost that point that you think is good, then you need to start adjusting it in smaller settings. And then just turn it and loosen it. And so you need to loosen it. So we're going to make it so that the spring starts coming out and starts pulling on it. And you just start sewing. It's getting a little better. It's not quite so apparent. Sometimes I kind of just like to take it along and just kind of turn it as I go. All right. You can see now, you can't even hardly see the white at all. And so it's nice and relaxed, and my stitches look really good. And you can feel underneath, it's nice and smooth. Now, if your stitching was off, or if your tension was off, you'd feel little bumps on it. And that's important, to take your hand and feel underneath and feel on top. Okay, so now we're going to talk about if your top tension is too loose. Okay, you can see on the top side of this, it looks nice and even and beautiful, but when I turn this over, you see all the little polka dots, and it kind of looks like little train tracks. That's what it does. And if you feel it, it feels really rough to your hand. So now we're going to show you how to adjust it when it's too loose. Okay, so now I'm going to loosen it to demonstrate how loose tension looks like. And so I've loosened it, and you can see that you can't even see my shaft right here. So all right. So hopefully I've done it enough. You can see down underneath that you can see the blue coming down through, that it's too loose. And you can feel those train tracks as well. So I'm going to start tightening it back up again, okay? I've just loosened it. So we're going to turn it one full turn and sew just a little bit. And then I'm going to check it, okay, underneath. And you know what? Part of checking is feeling as well. And so I can still feel loose tension underneath. And I don't have it there yet because I can see the thread coming through. So I'm going to tighten it again. I turned it another full turn. And I'm going to turn it on. In my little test area. I'm going to look down underneath. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. It's feeling a little better, but I can still see the blue coming down through. So, this is the point where I'm just seeing just a tiny dot. This is the point where you'd start turning it not quite a full turn. You start turning it just maybe a quarter of a turn. Turn it on. And you're seeing that I just barely have any blue coming down through. So I know I'm almost there. Maybe just one more quarter of a turn. There you go. I have my tension just right. I'm not feeling it. And just, it's nice and smooth. And you don't see the blue. Okay, I've experienced this next one many times. And what it is it's looping on the bottom or the top, okay? What to look for. So have you ever noticed as you're sewing along, your top looks kind of good, but maybe there's a few loose threads on it. You could actually kind of pull on them. And then you look down underneath, and you have shag carpet and horrible tension. What this is caused by is the misthreading of the sewing machine. So when you're changing your thread, sometimes when you cut it, the thread will kind of bounce back. It can get wrapped around an eyelet. You can miss something. It can come out of something. There's many things that it can be going wrong with it. So what I'm going to do is unthread it from this eyelet here. I'm going to turn it on. And you can hear it popping too underneath. So now you can see the beautiful false eyelashes I have made. I said every woman likes false eyelashes, but not this kind. Not on their beautiful quilts. Okay, so you can get those eyelashes if your thread's not pulled through your tension disc. This is really important to remember. When we were making our eyelashes, we had a double whammy. We didn't have it through this eyelet, and we didn't have it through the tension disc. That's why it looks so bad. So if you'll just stop and re-thread it, usually it'll take care of those problems because you're already redoing everything. Rather than trying to figure out what's going on, just stop and re-thread it. Now, you need to take it through the post. Make sure that you get it through the first hole here and in between this tension disc, just like flossing your teeth, you want to make sure it gets to the center and pulls so it's pulled correctly, and then bring it down through your next guide. And now you want to bring it back behind. And we want to make sure that we pull it through between the two discs and pull it towards the center. When you can't pull it anymore, it's there. Okay? Then you're going to bring it up around the spring here. And you want to make sure that it's pulling the spring down. So the spring will be pulled down to the first eyelet. Then you want to bring it up through the next eyelet and pull it towards you. Now we're going to take it through the hole and bring it down to our next eyelet, down towards our next guide. Now this next hole is really important. It's right at the top of the needle. All of these are guides to guide your thread so you get better tension. So you bring it down through, and then you'll thread your needle. Now, another thing that you need to remember is that sometimes the thread can get wrapped around the needle as you're threading it. And I always like to hold it like this. I hold it out so that I know it's going in nice and straight. Now we're ready to pull our bobbin thread up. I'm not so good with my left hand, but I want you to see how much better it looks underneath. Don't have those big eyelashes any longer. All right, so I'm going to show you an example of good tension. This has beautiful tension on the top. You don't see any of the pink coming through. It's just a nice, beautiful block. Now, good tension is the balance between top and bottom. So I'm going to turn it over and show you how it looks on the bottom. And you can see the bottom looks nice. You can just even slight areas, maybe see just a tiny bit of the blue, but the tension looks great. Now you might see a little bit of the blue, but your tension's nice and even. And it's a nice pull between the two of them. Nothing's too loose, nothing's too tight. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope you've learned how to work with your tension so it's not so tense any longer, and that you will be able to work through any frustrations that you might have down the road just by following these few simple steps. Thank you.